Okay. Anyway, welcome to another episode of our weekly podcast. This is, I believe, episode 32? 32? 31. 32. I'm being told 32. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting these students. And, if you're watching this in real time now, in a couple of weeks, we've got a bunch of shows coming up, including a showcase concert on our soundstage on April 25th. And we're going back to Ingleside on April 26th. And then Songwriter Nights on May 9th. And we've got EPs and all kinds of other stuff getting released. And this is fun.
Welcome back to another podcast episode, everybody. I'm your host, Trieu, here today. Before we start this episode off, I would like to thank our lovely producers who are helping out today. Wesley, Harmony, running cameras. You're the first person to clap. I always have to ask people to clap.
Why would you not clap? This is the hard part.
Exactly.
No offense, but your job's easy. They're the one that was working.
Okay, wow.
I'm just saying.
And then we have
hard.
Gabriel Oldfield, who is running audio for us today. And then now you can switch to the couch. Thank you, Wes. So today I am here with
I think Wes is doing a great job.
Mr. Maxwell, the CMAS teacher, in all of his glory.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So I don't have any questions prepared. This is something I decided to do on the fly.
Okay. Do you know, actually, this is very kind of, and I'm not even being funny. I know you and I have a great banter, and we'd like to be sarcastic, but genuinely, nobody's ever asked me to be interviewed connected to any of this stuff.
Really?
Ever. Like A&N, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, this is very flattering, whether that was your intention or not. I'm actually genuinely kind of flattered. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you for coming.
No,
Even
well,
though
I
you're
was
literally
I
forced
was
to be here
I was
to
gonna
teach
say
us.
I'm kind of like literally on the other side of the wall.
So let's start off with something. Let's get into the juicy gossip. Let's start.
Man.
Let's start with something you don't like to talk about. What was your Grammy?
Oh, we're not really. There's already.
Yeah, we're just nominee. He was a nominee.
So it was a technical award. The truth is that
you're not speaking into the mic.
I'm sorry, but it's picking me up. It's good. We're good. I'm loud. I got Maxwell teacher voice.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the truth. The Grammys offer a lot of awards in a lot of different categories.
Mm-hmm.
A number of years ago, I actually you can get nominated for a Grammy for almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
Nominations are great, but they go through kind of like these multi-stage process depending where they are. So in the initial stages of some categories, there's literally like a couple of thousand people who are technically nominees.
Yeah.
I was one of those initially, but I wound up through, I don't know, random weird whateverness. I literally got all the way down to the point where there were, out of a couple of thousand people, there was a final group of, I think it was either 8 or 10, like an actual category at that point.
Yeah.
I did not win. And that's okay.
Can you give us the exact title, exact year?
Loser, not winner was the exact title I received. What?
Well,
I'm not.
no, like the actual
So there's been a couple of things over the years, but the one you're referring to, I'm pretty sure is going to be for this stuff.
What is this stuff?
CMAS.
CMAS?
Which is a little weird. Yeah, it was a technical award that I was up for at the time. And CMAS is very, very unique. And there was a lot of attention. I mean, there's still a lot of attention, but there was you hit phases of publicity.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about this, in fact, regarding social media. It just kind of hits. So this was one of those things where there was a whole lot of, wow, you're doing what at a high school kind of vibe.
Are y'all dancing?
They're doing that's amazing. Is this cued based on my speaking? Like that's when you shift? Oh. I thought there was a synergy amongst the.
That's going to bloopers. Next.
Anyway, no, but it was literally for creating this opportunity for students and whatnot. It was a technical award. There's a lot of really cool stuff that goes into.
What was the name of the technical award?
It was something in music education. I don't honestly.
How do you not remember the title of a thing you were
because
not?
Okay,
Grammy?
Because there's a lot of reasons for it, and I'm not even kidding you, but years and years of, because it's a weird ego thing when you it's one thing like when you're nominated for things and there's 5,000 people that are also kind of up for consideration.
But you were in the last 8 or 10.
Yeah. So, but then not winning that sort of messes with your head a little bit.
Oh, okay, fair.
Although winning it also messes with your head.
Fair.
And I've known people on both ends of it, and I've reached a point where I know this sounds horrible, and it's no disrespect to the Grammys or anybody affiliated. I and I know I say this frequently about things and I say it sarcastically, but on this one, I genuinely, and it took me a long time to get her.
Are you trying to say you don't care?
I actually don't. I mean, I really don't. Like, I literally, it keeps coming up in conversations with my family, which is really irritating. My 3 older brothers just like to say it out loud to irritate me at events. So that's what happened this past weekend because I was at a family event. And I was getting introduced to some people, and it was all very nice and everything else. And
he's a Grammy nominee.
Yeah, and I was like, really? That's, and I'm like, that's where we're starting. Okay. So I have sort of a
fact to bring up.
No, I know, but it's kind of like, I'm not entirely convinced that if I had won the thing, I'd care either. And I'm not, and it's not false humility. I know people
put it on display in like a little glass case.
If you look around this, no, so in all seriousness, if you look around, and we have a lot of space in the CMAS rooms because we need them because of all the studios. Have you ever, like, there's one thing that's on any wall that even indicates anything I've ever done, and I even spent.
Is it that one Richard Maxwell
There's one thing with the EP because there was a bunch of press over the summer that I was pretty proud of. I literally, you can ask John. John was there, I think Paul was there, and Grayson was there, and I literally sat in that main room with the soundstage. I am not kidding. It's almost embarrassing. Actually, it is embarrassing. I literally spent probably a good 2 hours in this whole like inner dialogue of whether I should. It was John who finally was like,
whether or not you should hang up a poster.
Yeah, I'm not being funny. I really struggle with that stuff. I don't even like talking about the gigs. I just got yelled at by, I think Lily Supreme yelled at me. Or was it Blaze? Somebody yelled at me at lunch that I didn't mention the thing that we're doing, and now I'm going to mention it. But we've got a thing this weekend, and I have not said anything because I don't, I have this weird thing about there should be a line. I also get, I get the idea that it's technically part of what we're teaching here. In fact, it's everything that we're teaching here. So there's a little bit of a why wouldn't you talk about it? Yeah. I don't know how far you want me to go down this rabbit hole, but there were times when I would get accused of making it too much about me. This is like even before you were born. This is how long ago this goes back.
You're old.
Yeah, I am. At least that we can agree on. But I felt so stung by it, so now I'm like always paranoid. Sorry.
My second question for the hot goss is I've only been able to ask one. Why, Wesley? I overheard Wesley go.
I talk
There's
a
been
lot.
One
you
question.
invited me here to be a guest, so I get to talk.
That's fair.
What's up? What's the second question?
The second
Let's move away
question
from the
is:
Grammy thing.
you were an orchestra teacher before you did this.
Yeah.
How dare you quit orchestra?
Wasn't quit.
Okay, well, you moved over to a different program. You
I have a master's degree in conducting, which I don't get to use very often. I had 2 full symphonies. I loved them. I don't.
Your 2 full symphonies?
So I came to Arcadia so here's the short. I'll try to make it short. 26 years ago, I come to Arcadia. I'm hired as the band director, contingent on a couple of things. And it was weird that I'm sort of stunned that I even was this demanding, but I was like, I would love to come in, and the band situation was, they had a director who was very good. We're actually still friends, Dave Duarte, but he had an opportunity come up a couple weeks before the start of the school year. He was desperate. I had finished my second master's degree at the U of A, and I was interested in some different jobs. U of A is just fine. Sorry, I work for ASU too, so I'm allowed to. I got dual loyalties. But anyway, so Dave calls me, and I wasn't really happy. And I loved Tucson, but I wasn't happy with the gig that I had down there. So I wound up coming to Arcadia, but I said, if I take the band gig, then I want first, like the right of first refusal if the orchestra gig opens up, because I want both. Because I always had sort of like, big surprise, I don't like to do things like everybody else.
Oh, wow, we didn't know.
Yeah, shock, I know. No, but so that's what it was. So I came in, and by the second or third year, that position opened up, and I was like, this is cool, we're going to combine them together. So I think I went for maybe a year where I had separate ensembles, and I'm like, this is silly. We could literally be doing infinitely more interesting stuff. Let's combine them. So instead of having like a beginning band and a beginning orchestra, or a band class and orchestra class, because you got to go with whatever the numbers are for how many ensembles you have, I had a beginning symphony, winds, strings, and percussion, and I had an advanced symphony, wind, string, percussion, running all year round, even during marching season. In fact, there was one year where all but one of my drumline members
It took you 10 minutes to answer 2 questions.
That's actually for me good.
Is it?
It's not bad.
Okay.
I've been worse.
On
I
our
didn't quit. The problem was this started to become a thing.
mm-hmm.
There's only so
Okay,
much time
our
in the
next
day.
question, well, my next question is, I was thinking about this.
While I was rambling?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
And so
What else you got? You asked.
So obviously we have a bunch of cool stuff in this program.
Yeah.
You thought of this program.
Yeah.
What made you think about the program? And you're gonna we get 2 down really quickly. How'd this program start out? Because my first initial thought was, you can't get all this stuff that we have without proving that this program is worth it. So how do you even start that off?
Okay, so initially you'd think it's all about the technology. There's computers, there's cameras, there's all this other stuff,
yeah,
and the
but-
gear and the stuff. So that's actually, what I've learned is that's actually all circumstantial. Here's how it works. The thing about it is that, okay, you were in choir, right?
Yes. 2
Okay,
years.
you were in band?
For 1 year in 5th grade.
Okay, 5th grade. We're going to use 5th grade,
Okay.
and this is universal across. Think about the songs that you played when you were in 5th grade or in any hour,
Yeah.
in any year.
Mhm.
Think about the songs maybe you even sang in choir.
Mhm.
Okay, in choir it might, depends on your choir teacher, there might be a
Mhm.
little bit of crossover. Now think about the style, the genre, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Be honest, and if the answer is 100% cool, but if it is, I'm going to tell you you're in an incredibly rare situation. The type of music you're doing in school, in those circumstances, and think about what you listen to for fun. When somebody says, I'm going to put some music on, when you're like, hey, I want to go listen to something on my phone or whatever, or put something in the car when you're driving around with mom or dad or your friends or whoever,
Yeah.
how much of the music that you listen to for fun on your own time when nobody's telling you what to listen, you just listen to, how much of it connects very directly, not kind of sort of we can
1%,
find a loop,
like 1%.
if you're lucky. And that's the root of the
Well,
program.
In choir, we did a musical thing. and
Okay.
I like Glee. So.
Sure, but you like, okay, but wait, but even that doesn't, but the problem is, not problem, but the reality is, even with Glee, why did you like Glee? What songs were they doing?
Well, I liked Glee because Chris Colfer wrote Land of Stories.
Okay.
And then in 3rd grade, I read it, and my mom wouldn't let me watch it till 5th grade.
Fair enough.
And in Glee, they did the top hits on the charts, and yes, they did show tunes. They made fun of that,
But fundamentally, they were doing more modern, more commercially oriented
Yeah.
stuff. So there's the issue. The music that's getting taught in schools fundamentally is not usually what's being listened to even by those
Yeah.
same students. Now, there's a whole separate discussion about the validity of all that, and I'm actually a big proponent of band, choir, and orchestra. I've been
Mhm.
accused quite brutally sometimes of not being. I actually am a huge fan of that stuff.
Mhm.
My thing is there should be a way to things are either musical or they're not.
Yeah.
Now, and that's the short version of the first part. The second part, as far as getting all the stuff, that's actually easier because as soon as we've done it this year because the podcast has been expanding and you have been a big part of it. I'm grateful for it.
Well, thank you.
The reason we're getting, like, for example, there's some new camera things coming. We're being asked to live stream graduation, which if you think about it is a huge responsibility. It's a big deal. Graduation is a very important event. We're being trusted with it. Do you know why we're being trusted with it?
Because we
Run the
proved it.
logic. Because
we did it.
yeah, all of this gear shows up because we've done variations on Songwriter Night since
Mhm.
my 2nd year at Arcadia.
Mhm.
And it's not that they're always perfect. They're actually usually not perfect. The problem with the thing that the critics of the program always run into from their life, it's sort of, now it amused me. It used to upset me. Now I find it funny. Is show me another group of 14 to 18-year-olds who even come even 50% of the way to where you guys come.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how you get the stuff, because I go, okay, yeah, fine. Lily can't tell me every single thing about this camera yet, but she's a freshman and she knows how to run the whole podcast,
Mhm.
and you're not the only one who knows how to do it. You can pull these guys in to help run the cameras and the audio and stuff, and they're not sitting there going, we don't know what's going on. I'm being very serious. That all builds on itself. The reason we have these instruments is because of the hours and hours and hours
Yeah.
of material. You guys have built this whole thing. That's one of the reasons why I run into the problem about not wanting it to turn into my stuff. I'm not, I deliberately have a studio at home
Well,
so
as
that
we
I'm not
shortly
here.
run out of time here, and I
Sorry.
have to cut you off.
I just want to say you
Thank
invited
you.
me.
Overhead camera.
Thank you guys. Overhead.
Learn your signals.
There we
Wesley.
go.
I'm sorry.
And it's a learning environment, which is
Um,
important too.
Okay. And
That's all right.
so thank you to.
Okay, that actually makes me a little sad.
You have to say it. Okay,
Oh
that
my
one isn't
goodness.
on.
It's not on. That makes sense.
All right. Well, while you guys are sorting this out, I just want to say I'm genuinely honored you would even ask me because nobody ever does. That's all right.
Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you
I
to
passed
Gabe
by
and
a
Wesley.
smoke shop.
Are we doing it?
We're doing it?
I passed by a smoke shop the other day and realized it had been replaced by an apparel store. Clothes but no cigar?
Oh. Now I get why people are upset. You know, it's weird.
I don't get the joke. I don't get it. No.
Really, I can't even tell if you're kidding or not. You don't get it. That's okay. You're not. You know what? That's okay.
Yeah, close.
But no cigar. You've ever heard that expression?
No.
Oh, so if you don't have the reference, then that's okay. That's an expression for something that's close.
I don't
but
know a
not quite
lot of
there.
things. It's actually something I get yelled at a lot.
You know what? That's okay. You do know a lot of things. You just don't know everything,
I
and
don't
no one does.
know. It's really funny.
It's all
I
right.
could name everything that I've been yelled at for not knowing a certain band, and this episode would get 10 times longer. Anyways,
I'm okay with
thank
that.
you to these two for producing.
Thank
Thank
you,
you guys
guys.
so much for watching. That camera's not over there. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. I keep saying that as if this isn't the first segment out of 2 or 3. All right, I will see you guys next time. In like 2 minutes, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, Richard Maxwell here, Arcadia High School Creative Musical Arts and Sciences. Welcome to another. Really? Again? Haven't we already? We need another. What is it? Jazz hands? Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I like this. Okay. Bye.